If f and g are functions whose graphs are shown, let u of x be equal to f of x times g of x, and v of x be equal to f of x divided by g of x. And in this part of the question, we need to find u prime of 1. And in order to evaluate u prime of 1, we'll first need an expression for u prime. That'll be the derivative of the function u of x. And we can see that u of x is a product of two other functions, the function f times the function g. And so to evaluate its derivative, u prime, we can use the product rule, and we'll find that u prime of x will be equal to the first function in the product, which is f of x, times the derivative of the second function in the product, and so that would be g prime of x, plus the second function, which is g of x, times the derivative of the first function, which is f prime of x. And so now we have this expression for u prime of x, and we need to evaluate that at x equal to 1. And so u prime of 1 will be equal to f of 1 times g prime of 1 plus g of 1 times f prime of 1. And so now we end up with this expression for u prime of 1. And the only way to evaluate the expression is to find the values for f, f prime, g, and g prime, all at x equal to 1, from the given graph. And in the graph, we can see that at x equal to 1, the function f will be valued at y equal to 2. So f passes through the point at x equal to 1, y equal to 2, and we can say that f of 1 is equal to 2. And then if we look at the graph of g at x equal to 1, we see that the value of g is equal to 1. And so the graph of g passes through x equal to 1, y equal to 1. And we can say that g of 1 is equal to 1. And now for f prime and g prime, evaluated at x equal to 1, that will correspond to the slopes of the graphs of f and g. And we can start by determining the slope of the graph of f. If we see that it passes through the point at x equal to 0, y equal to 0, and also the point at x equal to 2, y equal to 4. And in between those 2 points, the function is a straight line. And so we can say that the slope m for the graph of f between x equal to 0 and x equal to 2 will be equal to the difference in the y values of the 2 points. That'll be 4 minus 0, divided by the difference in the x values for the 2 points. And that will be 2 minus 0. And so the slope will be equal to 2. And so then we can say that f prime of 1 is equal to 2. And then if we go on and look at the function g, we can see that the function passes through the point at x equal to negative 2, y equal to 4, and also the point at x equal to 2, y equal to 0. And so the slope of the graph at x equal to 1 will be equal to the slope between x equal to negative 2 and x equal to positive 2. The graph of g is simply a straight line there. And so we can say that the slope for g will be equal to 0 minus 4 divided by 2 minus negative 2. That works out to be equal to negative 1. And so that gives us that g prime of 1 is equal to negative 1. And so now we see we have a value for f prime of 1, a value for g prime of 1, and also a value for f prime of 1 and g prime of 1. And so we can put those values into the expression for u prime of 1, and we find that u prime of 1 is equal to 2 times negative 1 plus 1 times 2. And that works out to give us that u prime of 1 is equal to 0. And that's the value we're looking for. We're able to find the value of u prime of 1 by using the product rule, and then finding values for the function and for their derivatives using the graph. And that now completes this exercise.